blood inexplicably flowed from the Statue of Liberty's head. Police officers rappelled up on steel cables to inspect the situation. They initially suspected it was caused by a bird collision, but it uncovered a string of serial murders instead. With a quick wipe of the hand and a spray from a kettle, even more surprises emerged. There were traces of 12 different types of human blood on the surface. My God! And inside the Statue of Liberty's head, a security guard lay dead, her neck slashed with a knife, blood pooling everywhere, and her gun stolen by the perpetrator. She had been accompanied by another man the previous night, who is now unaccounted for and his fate unknown. At the base of the statue, a viewing telescope was secured with steel wire, and a pool of blood was found at the coin slot. Curious, Jack inserted a coin and peered through the eyepiece, only to see a man sitting directly across, staring straight back at the telescope. Jack suspected the man was the killer, so he hurried over to him, only to discover it was a corpse. The body had been injected with some kind of cannabis vapor, leaving it frozen in place. When Jack pulled open the corpse's zipper, the killer had left a message scrawled on the short-sleeved shirt: to catch the perpetrator quickly. Forensic experts conducted urine tests on the two bodies. In the male victim's mouth, they found a sharp iron fragment, and the blood on that fragment matched one of the 12 blood traces on the statue. The large needle puncture on his neck was from the killer using a tube to draw his blood, which was then splashed onto the statue's head. The wire tied to the telescope wasn't ordinary iron wire, but a piano string with a diameter of 18 centimeters, plated with stannous phosphate for the surface, typically used for high notes, and found on expensive pianos. Just as the police were piecing together the clues, a severed arm was suddenly delivered to the station. Judging by the cutting marks, the arm had been severed by a propeller. The victim was already dead before the arm was cut off, as there were no signs of bleeding in the arm's capillaries. After fingerprint analysis, they identified the deceased as the missing male security guard from inside the statue. Now, 3 people have been killed, and to prevent further casualties, they must capture the killer before he strikes again. The case is progressing rapidly, and the forensic expert discovered new clues on the iron fragment. After some persistent tinkering and testing, he determined that the fragment was a part from a music box. So, the expert reassembled it. As the gear turned, the fragment rubbed against components to produce a tone, and the song that played was one composed by an author at the age of 5, later incorporated into a music box by a pianist. But why did the killer stuff the fragment into the victim's mouth?